Welcome to Sitdown Sunday with Stacy J, where we chat about what we want to say. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Write a comment to let me know you've been here.
Hi, I'm Stacy J and I'm in my studio today. It is Sunday and I am so happy. I have finally talked Mr. Christopher into not doing renos today, and I know that he wants to get it finished, but selfishly I'm really worried about him. He has been working 1, 2, 3, maybe a month without a break. I mean, without a break. He has been working all week and then all weekend. So he only works on our house on the weekend, and he works, as you know, he's a plumber, so he has quite the physical job, and he's been working all week doing heavy, hard stuff. So I am glad I've talked him into not doing it. He wants to get it done, but I know he worked extremely hard last week on his own, lifting lots and lots of timber and getting stuff done. But I just really needed him to stop. He worked yesterday, and he's not 25 anymore. He's not 35 anymore. He's not 45 anymore. I just rounded that right up. But yeah, I'm just glad I did. He says he feels weird not doing something. So he's actually gone out to the garden and he is going to do the wind dropped down a little bit. He's going to go and do some weed spray because he wants to finish this particular reno. And yes, I want him to. But his summer project is finishing the pond area. And I'm adamant this year. It's been 3 years and it's still not finished. And I just think that some people who have expectations of him doing so much work and not really understanding how hard he works, obviously hasn't had a job where they are physically demanded every day. So I have watched him pretty much suffer to the end of the day, and I am just so glad I got him to not do that. But he's a worker. He does, and I would always say it about him, he is a solid worker. Mind you, he does have squirrel moments where he goes off and does other things, but solid worker. Hydrating. I'm only up to 9 o'clock and it's 12:30. So today I want to talk about our sewing spaces. Our sewing spaces are our little havens of love. Yeah. I used to have an area down. I'm actually just still doing the sleeves. I'm doing the sleeves of the suit. I'm just sewing the buttons on. As you can see, I've had to shorten enough that the buttonhole is under. So these will be all unpicked. He knows I won't have marked buttonholes. They're not. They're fake buttonholes. But I'm just finishing that off while I talk to you. And then we're going to go up, and when he's finished doing his little bit there, I'm going to get him to help me do the Christmas tree. We started doing it yesterday, and we had to remove the furniture, and then he threw his back out, which was just crazy because it's me who throws my back out because I have a herniated disc. So nobody lets me pick anything up, and I'm quite capable of doing that. Oh, while I've got you guys here, and I will just change the subject slightly, I'm going to show you how awesome my face is looking. So there it is there. I'll just zoom right in. I don't know if it's focusing on my face, but I am super happy with it. It's flat as, which is good. I've got pawpaw ointment on it at the moment. which they said to stick Vaseline on, but I don't have Vaseline. I'm not a Vaseline put on my face kind of gal. But pawpaw ointment is actually really, really good. I started using that when I had little kids who are now big kids. So I am super uber happy about my face. So yes. What I would like to say, and I don't normally do my sit-down Sundays about me. I do it about stuff. So I want to get back to our sewing rooms. Now, I expect and would love, my expectations are high. I'm just watching a bird jumping towards my tomatoes. And he's going to probably eat a worm from my tomato plants. Not from the tomato plant, you know, in the soil. So, through my lifetime of sewing, I possibly had usually a bedroom. So when I owned a house up in Auckland, and I had my own bedroom. It was a 3-bedroom house, and I was just married, no children. And so I had the small room was my sewing room. And it was always the coldest room. Why is it that we pick the coldest rooms to be our sewing rooms? But then we sold up when I was pregnant with Alexander, and we went and moved underneath the 3-bedroom house that Mum and Dad had. Mabel, 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 Mabel. She's sitting really still, like I can't see her. She's allergic to grass, and she's been rolling around in the grass. Anyway, and she has hay fever tablets for it. So I had a little room. When I had Alexander, of course, you put everything away. There's little kids around, and you put everything away. And because my ex-husband, he wasn't a mess lover, so I put everything away. I got right into making. Like I did a lot of scrapbooking and making videos on our Mac as well. So I sort of steered off the sewing for a while. And then when he got posted down to Wellington, we had a 4-bedroom house, and the twins actually still shared a bedroom. So I had the little room, the cold room, and I could leave and just shut the door. And it was great. I just ran amok in it. I loved it. It was also the room when the mother-in-law came down to visit, which wasn't that often, but when she came down to visit, it was also her bedroom. So when my parents came down, we actually kicked Xander out, and he went to that room, and Mum and Dad had the bigger bed. So there, and then we moved to this house, and I had a room upstairs because the boys shared and Victoria had her own room. I think that's how it worked. And then when Xander was old enough and capable enough, he came down to the room on this level, and I went downstairs to the big playroom that nobody kept tidy. So I took it for my own and tidied it up, and it became my oasis. So I had this massive room downstairs. It was the rumpus room, and it was mine, all mine. It was great. It was great, great, great. And that's when I sort of semi-started my business, although I was still working at the same time. So I'd come home and work. I'd go to work and work, and come home and work, and go to work. And then I decided that I separated, but, you know, years on, Mr. Christopher and I decided I was going to go out on my own. And so I did. And somebody suggested that I put my studio in the garage because you walk from the driveway straight into it. And I thought, I don't want my sewing room in the garage. But apparently, my garage doesn't have a look like a garage if you change your garage, does it? So it was really good. I put in my notice because I was not getting to spend as much time with the kids as I wanted because I'd come home and work. So I'd get stuff out on time, and I'd be up all night thinking how fast, how easy can I get all this work done for these people. So then it came something else, you know. So I put my notice in, and then basically the next day the builder hurt his ankle playing football. So we had no builder, so we built it. And Dad would come over and he would help. And Mr. Christopher and Dad would be building, and I would be working in here. So it was quite the challenge, especially when you've got a builder at one end and a plumber down the other, and they were joking backwards and forwards about which was better, the plumber or the, you know. And of course, Mr. Christopher comes from Wellington, and Nogs and oh, I can't even think of the name. There's the piece of wood that goes in between uprights inside a wall. It's called a nog, and I cannot think of the word. I'll ask Mr. Christopher and I'll pop it down here. But it was, yeah, that was their little funny battle. Even little terminologies that Mr. Christopher used, that Dad was like, what the heck is that? You know, because Auckland, you know, 10 hours away, had a whole different language for this stuff. So it was quite funny. But so since then, this has been my studio. It was no longer called my oasis. It became my studio, and like a grown up word. And yeah, so that's how I've managed it. I've moved it around a few times. I feel not comfortable in it now, you know. It's got small, or have I just bought too much stuff? Could be I bought too much stuff. It could be. And of course, with vlogging, it brings on a whole different game, because vlogging is a time-consuming thing. I guess that's why a lot of vloggers get upset, present company included, when you get a scratchy comment made at you. You're like going, okay then, thanks for that. So bringing the vlogging into it and setting up that sort of scenario as well. And vlogging makes whatever you are doing, especially a sew along, it makes it 50 times longer. But it is what it is, you know. And of course it makes the recording of it longer. I'm not the kind of person who just does it and then talks over it. Where's the fun in that? I know you guys probably wish I would do that, but yeah, no, I won't. So it's yeah, that's my studio. That's how it is for me. I have it set up. You know, when we were setting this up, we had a lot of questions going through our minds, because we wanted to make sure we got it perfect on how we wanted it at the time. I'm just putting my sleeve. I'm going to pin it to the scummy up there. And it had to be functional. So during the month of building it, so I put my notice in on about the 15th of August. I got out on the 15th of September, and I launched on the 19th of October. So yeah, about 2 months. But very slowly, because we had to transition. We had Christopher's daughter living on this floor and Alexander living on this floor. So we had to transition down. They had to go into the studio, or the oasis that I was working in, off to the side. So then it was a game, you know, that game, and it's in a little box, and it's like a little box like that big, and it's got 12 slots but only 11 tiles, and you move it around to make a picture. That's what our renos are. Our renos aren't just, hey, let's do this room. We've got to move the stuff out of that room, and we've got to put it in another room so we can do that. And half of the renos we're doing, like, we've moved the front door. The front door isn't where it used to be. It's just like, just playing the game until we get it right. And that's one of the reasons why nothing's finished. I'll give him that. But also, you know, like I said, I worry about him. I worry about his health. Anyone that has a job that is physical, and I mean not just physical, I mean physical. Like he's got to take pipes sometimes from his car up a hill. So it takes its time and it takes its toll, and demanding people are just annoying, really, when you think about it. So I like to think that I've given Mr. Christopher, I mean, he's so amazing. He's a very clever man, gifted with his ability to do stuff. He's a bit like my father, you know, works hard, complains hardly. And, yeah, so I try not to be too demanding. I try, okay? I can't always succeed. No, so it took a while for this whole room to come in. So one morning I woke up and I said, I don't want carpet. Now downstairs I had carpet. And he goes, I just woke up. I said, I don't want carpet. And he goes, what do you want? And I said, I want that tic-tac flooring that looks like wood. He goes, oh, okay. And then we found there was some on the online for sale. And instead of being $40 a square metre, it was $19 a square metre. So it was half price. So like bonus, I'm just pinning this lining now to the top of the sleeve. And then I've got some hand sewing to do to attach it where I can't put the sewing machine. Yeah, so that was good, which is really good. It's however, it's really dusty in here. Like dust gathers from, I have no idea where the dust comes from. It's just like dust everywhere. And I don't dust. My big saying, I've said it for years and years and years, dust is a country accent. I like the country look. What can I say? One of the other things that I was adamant about was having my white unit. This one here. I'm moving you around that. I threw you. I might get rid of that. But anyway, that white unit there, I was adamant that that was going to be part of the studio because it was, it was down in the Oasis. I found it at the fair that we go to every year. It was like $80 bonus. I might have told you guys that before. The other thing, and this was Mr. Christopher that said that, because I need a change room, of course, and I said, all right, what if we put a round shower curtain, so you find a corner and it's a round corner, but I can pin the curtain back. And he goes, yes, but you can't stick anything in that space. And I said, yeah, it's true. And that's when we came up with where the fabric is. That is U-shaped, so you go in there and you can, oh, I wanted to read that email. You can change in there. And I don't have a door on it. I just have one of those courtesy fold-up things. I have that. So, and that saved space again. It was a space saver. And then, of course, I just started buying lots of stuff and I needed it, so I bought it. So that's pretty much a lot of the thought of what's gone into my actual room. Now, I do like the idea of being able to sew upstairs on the dining room table, and I have done that when I was making a quilt in a very short period of time for my friend's daughter for her first birthday. First quilt I'd ever made. I accidentally made 2 toppers, so it's a double-sided quilt. Oops. But it was fun to do it up there. I do a lot of hand sewing up there and things like that. So it's quite messy up in that in the lounge. It's very messy right now because I'm in the middle of rearranging it for Christmas. And yeah, so tell me about your workspaces, your rooms or your workplaces. Do you do it out in the lounge with the family? Do you have your own little room so you can lock yourself away? All that sort of stuff. So I'd love to hear about your spaces. And yeah, I just truly think it would be great for other people to be able to read what you guys have, what you guys don't have, what you wish you had. If money was no object, what would you do? I would double my room. I would fill it and be as uncomfortable as I am now, but I would double my room. Because I actually have some other ideas of what I want to do in this room, which includes more people. Not doing my work, but lessons, work parties, sewing evenings, that sort of thing. And for that, I need space. Yas. So, yeah. So I just thought I'd just come on board and have a quick chat about that and hear about your guys' space. Your guys' space. Yeah, sorry, I was just teasing saying it like that. But yeah, dying to hear. Write it up. Tell me how it is. And I will do a revamp of my room. I have done one. Some of the latest photos I've revamped it, put the table down in a different area. I've got the show lounge in a different spot. Not everyone has a show lounge in their studio, but I have it for the clients, and currently got 4 boxes filled with 61 pairs of pants for me to hem next week. So stoked. Yeah, get them out as soon as I can so that I have a room for my bottom. Actually, I just really like that show lounge, to be clear. And yeah, it's actually where I hide the Christmas presents because nobody comes in here. Well, Mr. Christopher does, because he said it's our studio. And I'm getting him to do a sew along for Vlogmas too. He has got to pick something. He hasn't as yet, but he has got to. Who wants that? And he still hasn't paid his speeding ticket. It was so funny. I had to giggle. He's the guy that doesn't flash you if you're going too fast. If he sees a cop on the side, he doesn't flash you to let you know, because he says you shouldn't be speeding. Hence the reason I find it hilarious. But about a month ago, apparently that particular road was 80 k's and it's been dropped down to 50 k's. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to finish this this jacket off, sorry. I got some hand sewing to do, a bit with the sewing machine, but I wanted to get this out to you and ask what your spaces look like. What do you love about your space? What's your favorite thing about your space? What would you change if you could about your space? Is it too high in the house? Is it too hot, too cold? Too bright, too not bright? As you can see, it's actually quite not bright at the minute in this room. And I don't know if you can see the dancing over here of the tree. And that can be a bit fiddly on my eyes. I've actually been facing the sewing machine and done hand stitching. Then I've actually turned to the side and face the other wall because it's just dancing lights on my eyeballs and it's a little bit tedious. But I love my space. I love my room. I love the pretty of it. I do need my dad back here to finish the ceiling, the scotia and the architrave, which he didn't do because we needed the PowerPoints moved up, which still haven't been done. So Mr. Christopher will get to that when that is done. But yeah, apart from that, I'll stop doing that with my thing. Yeah, tell me about your spaces. Really, really, really interested. Tell me what, if you share your room, tell me what you like and don't like about that. If you sit in the living room because you want to be with family, tell me about that. And yeah, who else shares your space and shares your tools? Like, who else comes to your room and sews? Let me know that too. Quite interesting. I sew, and Mr. Christopher sometimes comes in and, yep, he's got a pair of shorts on at the minute. It's got a rip at the back. He looked at me this morning when he went to put them on. He goes, and I said, no. Yeah, but no. Nay, not fixing those. Anyway, everyone, please stay well, stay warm, stay dry, keep cool and keep on sewing. Hydrate and have no regrets. Do I regret not having a bigger studio? Nah, No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Do I want a bigger studio? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Hey guys, take care and I'll see you next time.
Subscribe, like, and share, just to let me know that you care.